Hello, my name is Noah Common, and today I'll be speaking on why smoking in public should be made illegal. Smoking cigarettes, cigars, and other forms of tobacco has been a relatively popular pastime in American society for over a century now. People often smoke cigarettes to relieve stress, fit in with their peers, or they do it just because they are addicted and cannot stop. Over the years, society has become more and more aware of the negative impact of smoking. However, it still remains a large pastime in society due to ignorance of the medical facts or pure addiction. Smoking in public should be banned as smoking has many significant negative side effects. Secondhand smoke is extremely dangerous, as well as smoking influences children and young people that it is a good thing. Smoking has many harmful negative side effects that come with it. Some of these side effects include, but are not limited to, lung cancer, heart disease, strokes, lung diseases, diabetes, COPD, as well as chronic bronchitis. Those are just some of the physical effects of smoking. If not properly treated, a lot of those can even lead to death. Some of the most non-physical effects of smoking include a pungent odor lingering in your house and everything you own. The smell from cigarettes sticks to clothing and fabrics. Smokers' homes often have the entire inside smelling like cigarettes, even if they do not smoke inside. Their kids often go to school reeking of cigarette smoke and don't realize it because they have gone noseblind to the smell. Banning smoking in public is crucial to decrease the negative health effects in the citizens of this country. Don't take it from me though, take it from the CDC. The CDC states, studies have shown that smoke-free laws that prohibit smoking in public places like bars and restaurants help improve the health of workers and the general population. Some of these improvements in health outcomes, such as the reductions of hospital admissions for heart attacks, begin to realize shortly after the laws take effect. Smoke-free laws also can make it easier for people to quit smoking, reducing their risk of disease. This statement from the CDC helps to prove that when smoking in public is banned, there's an immediate increase in the health of all members of society. The smokers, as well as the workers and families who are exposed to secondhand smoke, these negatives of smoking far outweigh the potential benefits, and that it supports the argument that smoking in public should be banned. I have a visual aid, a graph of smokers versus non-smokers death marks, and there's a significant difference that can be seen from the blue line, which is the average smoker lifespan, and the red line, which is the non-smokers. And you can see how the red line of non-smokers goes over 100 years old, and the blue line, almost no smokers ever live over 100 years old. Secondhand smoke, also known as passive smoking, is the inhalation of smoke that is emitted from a burning end of a cigarette or exhaled by a smoker. Exposure to secondhand smoke can lead to a variety of negative side effects, particularly for non-smokers who are regularly exposed to it. Secondhand smoke has been linked to an increase of lung cancer, heart disease, respiratory infections, asthma attacks, and other health problems. Children who are regularly exposed to secondhand smoke may also experience reduced lung function and an increased sudden infant death syndrome, also known as SIDS. Additionally, exposure to secondhand smoke can create aggravating health conditions such as allergies and asthma. It can also worsen symptoms of mental health disorders, such as anxiety and depression. In addition to the negative health side effects of secondhand smoke, it is important to consider the economic impact of tobacco use. Smoking-related healthcare costs, low productivity, premature deaths, all cost billions of dollars every year, placing a significant burden on individuals, families, and society as a whole. By reducing exposure to secondhand smoke and promoting a smoke-free environment, we can help eliminate these economic costs and provide a healthier, more productive society. In Chile, the government funded smoke-free areas and did studies revolving around the obedience of these laws as well as the impacts that the laws had. The objective of these experiments was to, quote, to assess the national level of compliance with the Chilean comprehensive smoke-free legislation by observing healthcare facilities, education centers, government offices, hospitality venues, and private workplaces. By the area, this quote provides evidence towards the idea that if we were to implement smoke-free laws in public, that we would need to enforce them, as well as prioritize popular venues that see a lot of people. The more people that go to an area when people are smoking, the higher the likelihood of being impacted by secondhand smoke. That is why these areas were chosen. Ultimately, it is the responsibility of all members of society to take action to reduce the impact of smoking, to protect the health and well-being of the future generations. A study was done revolving around the smoking bans and its effect in China. One conclusion of the study stated that, quote, a smoke-free home can not only prevent exposure to secondhand smoke, but also improve the smoking cessation rates and reduce reduce the cigarette consumption rate among adult smokers. It can also establish and consolidate the values of the rules of lifelong anti-smoking among teenagers and reduce teenagers' smoking behaviors. This conclusion from this experiment in China goes on to support the thesis that smoking in public should be banned, as secondhand smoke was drastically reduced along with all other negative side effects. Smoking in public can have a significant influence on children and their perception of smoking. When children see adults smoking in public places such as parks or sidewalks, they may perceive smoking as normal or an acceptable behavior. Children may also see smoking as something that is associated with maturity and adulthood, leading them to believe that smoking is cool or grown up. This can be particularly damaging, as research has shown that children who perceive smoking in a positive light are more likely to experiment with smoking themselves later in life. By smoking in public, adults are sending a message to children that smoking is acceptable and even desirable, which can have long-term negative side effects on the health and well-being of the future generations. Furthermore, smoking in public can lead to children being exposed to secondhand smoke, which, as previously mentioned, can cause a range of negative health side effects. This normalization of smoking can perpetuate the lifestyle cycle of smoking and tobacco addiction, and contribute to the ongoing public health issues caused by tobacco use. Therefore, it is important for adults to recognize the impact their behavior has on children and to take steps to promote a smoke-free environment. There are many experts and studies that have done this to prove this line of thinking. A study was done on the impact of smoking bans and the cancer rates of people in the area. This study goes on to prove that smoking bans are favorable in order to decline cancer rates. A quote from the article states, "Smoking-related cancer mortality rates among non-smoking U.S. adults decreased about 36% from 1998 to 1994 to 1999 to 2004. After accounting for potential co-founders and secondhand smoke exposure at home, about 46% of the decrease in cancer mortality could be attributed to the declines in secondhand smoke exposure in public places, based off the statistically significant serum creatinine estimates. Our results are as unique in that they present the first evidence of the important contribution that smoking bans may have had." This quote backs up the idea that banning smoking is important to help the youth and society in general. The more bans there are, the lower the likelihood that kids will grow up and get cancer from secondhand smoke, as well as less people get cancer from smoking in general. Some people may argue that banning smoking in public is ethically unjustifiable. This argument stems from the idea that this is a free country and that people should be allowed to do what they want with their lives. This may be true to some extent. However, smoking in public puts others in harm's way and puts them at a severe health risk. The CDC states that there is no risk-free secondhand smoke, and that even brief exposure can cause immediate harm. I argue that being truly free means that I can leave my house and enjoy being out without putting my health at risk. The argument that banning smoking in public goes against ideas of freedom in this country is not valid. In the end, it is apparent that smoking in public should be banned in the United States of America. Smoking causes significant negative impacts on people, causes secondhand smoke that is extremely harmful to those not even smoking, as well as influences children that it is all right to smoke. Smoking has had its time in our society, only ruining everything it touches. I call for a change, a permanent ban on smoking in public. Make sure to think twice before touching another cigarette. Thank you.